Ooh, we are back inside of Helldivers, and it's Tuesday, which is normally game update day for Arrowhead, and we did just get one, just not the one we were hoping for. But there are strong indications that it's incoming sometime soon, so help is on the way to a game that's now sold over 12 million copies. Welcome to the channel. This is LtBuzzLitebeer, and Sony's latest earnings call has now shown us how popular this game truly is. We've also got a new update for the game, so we need to check that one out as well. Strong indications that players' cries for balancing help are being heard, and then an interesting topic concerning rocket devastators and a whole lot more. Thanks so much for your continued and insane levels of support. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my daily upload alerts. And it's time for a cup of liberty with Helldivers. Alright, very quickly, there is a 2-day reset on the Superstore, starting off with the CM17 Butcher heavy body armor with the medkit passive for +2 stems. You've also got the matching CM17 Butcher helmet, the CE67 Titan helmet, and the CE67 hybrid light medium armor with engineering kit for reduced recoil and +2 grenades. Checking in now on this doomed major order, just being honest, but Joel's ask for divers to come off of that rather meh Warbond release and then send us over to Botsville to rack up 2 billion bot kills is progressing just way too slowly. We are right around 1 day to go, so that's 24 hours, and we divers are sitting at 1.28 billion. So we need, what, roughly 700 million more bots in 24 hours? While not impossible, this is mostly improbable, and it's midweek, and it's versus the less popular automatons. Today's daily or personal order is to successfully extract from 3 missions, which will of course require that you dive into 3 missions, so it's going to take longer than usual to complete. Once done, collect your 15 medals and spend them on that Warbond, or save them up. Your call. Helldivers has sold over 12 million copies. That's one of the positives coming out of Sony's latest earnings call. Now, overall for the company, game sales are not hitting projections. Console sales are off, but check this out. They still took in $6.2 billion, yeah, billion with a B, dollars for 2023, and sold over 20.8 million PS5s. But also in that report was the news that Helldivers has sold over 12 million copies. Johan posted this to Twitter, echoing the reports and saying, "It was crazy to think that there are more Helldivers now than there are Swedes." Now, you would think that Sony not hitting their sales projections would signal to them, hey, all right, we're falling short here, but you know, we've got this breakout hit with Helldivers. They seem to be doing it right. Let's just let them do their thing and cash in those fat checks. But all indications are that Sony is still fighting and clawing to stay in control of the situation they themselves created, as there is still no news on the now 180 regions that can't buy the game on Steam due to that PSN not existing in their area issue. It's crazy to think if Sony would just reinstate all those regions, you know, they might get a smidge closer to those sales goals they claim to have missed. But hey, that's just me talking out loud. We just got another game update early this morning as patch 1.000.304 went live, and it's only about 58 megs, so it's a very short download and install for anyone who hasn't yet logged in. Now, unfortunately, 304 is not the big buff balance patch the player base has been asking for, or if we don't want to call it a buffing, we could call it weapon balancing. 304 consists of 3 crash fixes, which occurred when the host left a party after a player hot joined, a loadout menu crash, and a rare crash when transitioning to or from the ship. There were also 7 other miscellaneous fixes packed into this one as well. I'm not going to read through each of them for you verbatim, but they are up on screen now. However, there are several interesting items actually listed out here, such as, and this plays back into that Sony keep your damn hands off of Helldivers topic, but apparently now, account linking in-game has been reactivated, but it's optional, and there is a dedicated in-game setting. No thank you. Sorry, I just couldn't hold that one in. Weapon attachment showing up as purple question marks in the tutorial is now fixed. Air burst proximity explosion is now triggered only by enemies or Helldivers. Okay, and it was originally black in the trailers and then launched as dark earth brown. AR-61 Tenderizer is now sporting the right paint job. Now, normally when I'm running through these patch notes, the known issues section is the same, you know, update after update, but there are a few new additions, so you need to check these out as well. Players may occasionally receive excessive XP, which I wonder where this one actually comes from. I've heard about hackers boosting everyone in the party's samples up to maximum, but nothing to do with excessive XP, and apparently this is caused by an in-game anomaly, not a hacker, so very interesting one there that's now been added to this list. Also, most weapons shoot below the crosshair when aiming down the sights. We haven't seen this one listed out like this before. It used to be some weapons have misaligned scopes or something like that, but here it is, being even more specific, shooting below the crosshairs. So the scope woes continue. Also, they found out that the hand carts ship module, which reduces your backpack strat cooldown timers by 10%, is not working for the Shield Gen backpack. And finally, and I left this one for last on purpose, but the AR-61 Tenderizer is also here on the known issues area, deals too little damage, and is not in the final state we are intending. That's exactly their wording there. And hopefully that not in the final state we are intending applies to many more weapons and stratagems, because weapon balance or imbalance is a really hot topic right now for Helldivers, and in some cases is pushing players away from enjoying the game. And this kind of ties together in a symbiotic relationship with the Warbonds. Twinbeard referenced both of these topics with this response: "Yup, we're aware there's a lot of concern regarding Warbond Cadence and us possibly overbalancing and or nerfing too much. We're discussing it a lot internally ATM, or at the moment." Now, I don't think there's any question of if the team is overbalancing or nerfing, as Twinbeard says, possibly overbalancing, because that is, without question, exactly what they've been doing. This happens when there are too many, as they say, cooks in the kitchen. Too many spreadsheets, pick rate ratios, power delta concerns, and the absolute most important factor, is it powerful and fun to use, gets thrown right out the window. I've said this in previous videos, but who cares if the railgun or quasar cannon slaps elites around? Who cares if the assault rifles were to, I don't know, all of a sudden all get medium armor penetration and 20% more fire rate? Who cares if the players overwhelmingly choose to use certain strats and setups? The single most important question for all of this should be, is it fun? Fun drives up player counts. It drives up player retention and hours played. Fun can be broken down into subgroups. You could have game mission design and player power fantasy, which are, by the way, the core pillars of success for Helldivers. They've nailed the game and mission design, blasting away with primary weapons, getting swarmed by huge mobs of enemies, calling in OP stratagems, even friendly fire. This game nailed that part of the equation. But when it comes down to the player power fantasy, you know, at first it was really good, and then the balance team set upon the game, spitting out analytics, and that second core design pillar really got cut back. Twinbeard has alluded to other things that are currently in the works as well, like test servers, patrol rate fixes, balancing, overbalancing, and even mechs, which when they arrived drove the community into a freaking frenzy, but not so much as of late, probably because they have issues. But, you know, with this game, the positives outweigh the negatives. And again, I'm not dunking on the game. I play it every day, and I still enjoy the hell out of it. But again, just being honest here, I kind of get anxious when Tuesdays roll around now, and not from sheer excitement. I get worried about what the balance wizards have come up with now. There's also this push to maybe, you know, kind of pull back on the Warbond releases, because they do arrive monthly, but what we are seeing included in these packs are less than inspiring. Armors that indicate something cool in their descriptions, but give us nothing new or unique in practice. For instance, some of the new armors are pushing towards this snow trooper vibe with spikes on the soles of our boots for better traction, and yet we still seem to slide all over the ice. We've also not seen any new passives since Cutting Edge, when we got that 95% resistance to arc damage armor. The weapons have been rather mid, and the strong ones, the ones that we enjoy using because they're powerful, seem to get hit with the nerfs the fastest. Go figure. I guess where I'm heading with this is maybe it's time for Arrowhead to kind of take a look at what's coming in these Warbonds and put some new items and more detail into those offerings. Oh, and we need new biomes and mission types. I mean, we really need a lot of both of those. Desolate, destroyed cityscapes, old neighborhoods, new planets with new effects, and we need even more mission types. In fact, I thought about this one as I was recording this video that would involve a rare and random mission deviation. Like, you've already selected your loadouts, you are about to deploy to the planet, and the mission interruption just comes in and starts blasting at you last second. Something like Helldivers. This facility is under attack on a completely different planet. You are being immediately redeployed to assist in the clearing of the labs or maybe civilian evacuation, and we don't have like any time to change what we are bringing in. It's all hectic and chaos, you know, the things that we love about this game. And then they could even tie in new tech we've never used. So we would dive in with this one-time use armament used for this specific mission. And like I said, just make it random, chaotic, and rare. Let me know what you think about that one in the comment section below. But for now, we're talking about one of those previous rare, highly anticipated pieces of tech, ExoSuits and Rocket Devastators. Here's a Reddit post that combines them together. Check this out. If the Patriot Exosuit have to have a limited amount of rockets in order to be realistic, Rocket Devastators should too. I happen to agree with this, by the way. But overall, when it comes to the bots, Devastators really seem to be the most disliked variant because you've got those heavy devs with their shields and those laser cannons that never need to be reloaded, and they just wail away on your position. And then you've got those rocket devs that pepper you with explosives. You get ragdolled from the blast, etc., etc. I mean, I could keep going. But the main issue here is that rocket devs never need to reload. They have something like a 1-second cooldown between rocket volleys, and they fire 4 of these rockets at once. But, as the post asks, why do they never need to reload while the mech only has 12 rockets? Which is an excellent question, and that's probably a great topic for some comment action. Remember to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including an open invite link to my fast-growing Helldivers Discord community, can be found in the video description below. Thank you so much for your continued support. The channel has now eclipsed the 227,000 subscriber mark, and it shows no signs of stopping. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.